Good morning and welcome. I'm Karen. This is Veronica's Dreams Coaching and Tarot. Today is Wednesday and we're getting close to Halloween, so I brought out my Haunted House Tarot. So we'll use that for the reading. I'm going to use my Ghost Tarot for clarifying. So this is our daily reading and let's get started. Give it a shuffle. These are, I just looked at them. They're not all facing the right way, so bear with me a little bit. I haven't used these in a while. Everyone's doing well. It's raining here in the south of the United States. When I say south, I'm in Tennessee. Doesn't feel like it's south, but I guess it is. Feels like it's more middle U.S., but so let's get started. What we got? Do we have a check-in to make sure I'm recording? Had a couple of big faux pas. Current situation, please. Oh, that is, that's Strength. That's a pretty card. Present Influence. 8 of Swords. Future Influence. 10 of Wands. Unexpected. Oh, Death. Challenge. That is the Knight of Cups. Strength. That is 8 of Pentacles. That's good. What is this like? 3 of Cups. 10 of Cups. 7 of Cups. All kinds of cups going on here at the end. We've got the Hangman at the bottom of the deck, followed by the Ace of Cups. So there is, I do feel like this does feel something new to me, and I think that's what's going on here with the Strength and the 8 of Swords, and I'll explain in a minute here. This is the Hangman and the Ace of Cups. That's a really pretty card too. So let's see what this is about. Yeah, sometimes you gotta change the weight here. So the 8 of Swords is in the present influence, so that this is what's influencing you now, and that feels to me like it could be very, I mean, it is a stuck energy, feeling like you can't, move forward, feeling like you're bottled in a little bit, right? So now when I look at this card, I feel like it's a lot about, is this truly stuck or is it in your mind? And it's always the question to ask when you get the 8 of Swords, because it is about our mind. And sometimes when it comes up, it's absolutely you're truly stuck. But sometimes it's really, is this just, am I just thinking this is happening, or am I really stuck? And it's always something to look at. Now, I feel like it's more true because with the Strength in the current situation means that, you're in a period of time, maybe today, tomorrow, it's daily. So it's that energy of feeling like you really have to gather your resources to stay cool and calm and just be patient. The Strength card to me is that strength through patience. It's the feminine energy of Strength, very much patient. I can do this. I have this. It's also about, well, okay, I'll leave it right there. But I feel like that, it's up to, that it's up to you. That's the energy I'm feeling with that Strength card. That it's up to you to get through this. I think the 10 of Wands in the future influence is saying, that this isn't going to be easy, but you got it. Like the 10 of Wands is all about having it. You're almost there. It's the 10. You're at the end of the wands here. So there will be a feeling coming in where, yeah, it's hard, but I got it. And it's like that last pull at the end where you have the 9 of Wands. Can I do this? I'm tired. And the 10 of Wands is getting all that strength together to really go. And I've got this. I can do this. So I'm getting that feeling here. Whatever this energy is to you is something that you're trying to deal with, again, with that Hangman at the bottom of the deck. How am I doing this how can I get through this? I got to think about it differently. There's something that you're trying to pull out, um, that you know that maybe the way you're doing it now isn't working, or, how am I going to get through this? The stuck feeling again, that's going to be really, up to you to see how to get through those swords. We'll take an advice card too. I don't have my oracle cards up here. So let's take a look at the strength. Let's look at the Eight of Swords first. Oop, that's that Eight of Pentacles. That's good. That's coming up in your strength. What is this Eight of Swords, please? What is the Eight of Swords? What is that Eight of Swords? Four of Swords. So I feel like with that, I'm just gonna do with the one card. That's good. Four of Swords. So well, both of these, are swords, of course. So you're kind of in your head, but I feel like so the reason why you're feeling stuck is that you feel like you're stuck in that Four of Swords. So there's something here about rest, and you realize that you can't, rest forever, right? And but you don't feel like you're done yet, right? So you're healing, and you know that you need to do that. You know that you need to take that time. But with the Eight of Swords is, I think you're thinking that you're not done. And I think you are, or you could be close. Again, that Hangman in the at the bottom of the deck, thinking about it differently. So, I mean, that's kind of what needs to happen here. And I think, too, that stuck card, again, I just brought up that Hangman, thinking about something differently. How can I do this differently? Can sometimes make you lead to feeling like you're stuck for a while, because the Hangman is kind of a stuck energy. You're working on something, but you're not moving. You don't have the action piece of the piece with the Hangman. So I do feel like there's that energy of, okay, how am I going to get out of this if I'm not feeling quite ready to wake up, so to speak, or get up or move? But you have to, and that's again the strength. Let's look at the strength card in the current situation. Let's see what it has to say. Tell me about the strength card. Did I show you that card? It's really kind of a cool card. Tell me about strength, please. The Moon, King of... Oh, I did 3 this time. Well, I'm going to leave it, but I'm going to do 1 on the other ones. And there's that Hangman again. So the Moon, the King of Wands, and the Eight of Cups. Yeah, it's like you have that feeling with the Moon, like, I know I need to start, really taking on that persona of the King of Wands, really take action, you know, um, be in charge of my own, passions and moving forward. And then the Eight of Cups here is really like, I've got to start doing this. I've got to, you know, be willing to say, I'm ready to move. The Eight of Cups, you need to move away from something. There's something more out there, but you can't put your finger on it. It's an intuitive feeling. And you've got the Moon there, which is a very intuitive card as well. But the King of Wands is about the action piece of it. So there's definitely a feeling of I think the whole thing here is that you're trying to pull in that strength because you want to start moving, because there's something different. But again, that Eight of Swords is coming up, and you're just like, am I ready? I feel like it's a am I ready because of that Four of Swords, clarifying it. And that's up to you. But I think with the Ten of Wands, you are ready. That's a strong card, showing that you can carry that load, that you can do this, and you will. And the good thing is like when we look at these daily readings, these are energies that will go through quickly because it's a daily thing. It's not long term. And I think with, oops, wrong deck. I think with that 10 of Wands being in the future that you're really going to understand, you know, what that you can. So, oops, we have the 8 of Pentacles in the Strength. So I'm kind of looking ahead here, which is that you know that you have the ability to figure this out and to learn how to do this and master the skill to remove to move forward. And that Knight of Cups in the challenge is that fear of, will I find what I am looking for as far as, you know, creativity or love, or, you know, really that really wonderful heart space you have. Um, but so I just feel like that 10 of Wands is kind of that energy from both, where, yeah, this is hard. And yeah, I have this challenge of kind of a fear. And because I feel like it's in the challenge, and I feel like with the Knights, I really feel like those are forward moving cards. There is this fear of, will I find it? And also the Knight brings us gifts. So is it, will I find this? Will I be able to do this? You know, so you're second guessing yourself a little bit. I do feel like with that 10 of Wands though, that will help you see that you can. However, you know, our challenges are going to be our challenges, right? So that's again, like I speak of the challenge, it's a bump in the road. It's not something that is necessarily, you know, in your way as far as this is in your own way, right? So the challenge, and when I read this position, is your challenge, not necessarily external challenges. And so we have the Death card in the unexpected. I feel like you're going to see things starting to change. I think just because of that 10 of Wands, for one, you're like, that is kind of, I can get out of this 8 of Swords. I can do this. It's hard, but I know I can do this. So this is not an easy journey for you, but there's definitely something you're working on. And what I like about the Death card, I mean, that's all about, you know, changing and transforming and becoming, and allowing yourself freedom to do so, allowing yourself to change. Tell me more about this Death card. I'm going to pull 3 cards. What is the Death card here? What are we doing here? The Death card. 9 of Cups, Hermit, and 6 of Swords. I like that. So this Death card is about, you know, your desires, you know, with the 9 of Cups here. And then with that Hermit, though, it's like you are searching and you are looking for that northern star. You're looking for um, something, you know, and the search, again, I feel like it's more work than searching. So even though the Hermit's a quiet card, I feel like it's a quiet internal card. I do feel like this is kind of an external feeling. And that's, again, why I feel like the 6 of Swords is here. You know, you're ready. You're ready to say, I'm leaving this. Just like we had that 8 of Cups, I'm ready to leave this. But this is more, the 8 of Cups to me is more spiritual. This is more, I'm doing it. The mental, the almost, it's not, it is physical to me, the 6 of Swords, because I feel like it's, I'm doing this. Now, I do feel like anytime the 6 of Swords comes up, we also have a feeling of being helped through this. Like there might be someone that can help you, you know, move forward. Anytime I see the 6 of Swords, there's some degree of help here because there's always someone else, you know, driving the boat, so to speak. But yeah, I feel like this change is coming from a search. It's searching for that dream, that 9 of Cups. And I feel like you're on the road, and that's what comes as surprising when you start seeing things come together. That's why the Death here is unexpected. I don't know if I showed you the Death card. That's why that Death card is unexpected. You're not expecting to really be able to see some answers, but with that Hermit and 6 of Swords, you're on your way. You know, you're on your way. So in this case, and in most cases, I mean, I think the Death card's a good. I think most of the tarot is is good to one degree or another, because it's all about the growth and, teaching us and um, those things. So we have the Knight of Cups. I talked a little bit about this. This is in your challenge. And there could be a couple things, and we all are going to be a little bit different here, but I feel like the Knight of Cups is that forward movement. Your challenge is, for one, to keep moving, and for two, to have faith that you will find those gifts. I don't think this is like a knight in shining armor situation. It could be, but I don't feel like it is. I feel like it's more that the challenge is for you to keep moving forward towards this. Again, with that Eight of Swords and even the Hangman, we can get in our own head about things and feel scared, or we can feel um, apprehensive, or even denying. And this is kind of that, like that feeling of that challenge. I got to get past this denying. I got to get past this. I can find love, happiness, the truth, what I seek. But I have to get past some of these things that are up in my head about being stuck, and healing. So there is a sense, and I talk a lot when I'm doing readings about healing. Realistically, healing's never done, especially if we've had something that really affects us or that we need to get through. It's it's a constant learning process. It's a constant growth. We're always growing, and we have to allow ourselves to continue to grow. We can always, and it is okay to have a setback and say, okay, this is something I still need to heal from. And you feel because every time you get a little further, even if you feel like there's a little step back, you're still moving forward and you're still healing. But there's always going to be that piece that you feel like you may not never heal completely from, but maybe you're not supposed to. Maybe that is there to remind you how to continue to move forward. If you understand what I'm saying there. That I really like that the Eight of Pentacles is in your strength here, because it is saying, yeah, you know what? You have it in you. Now, it's also saying that you have the ability to focus. The Eight of Pentacles, mastering that skill, really focusing. I've seen it called the Apprentice card, where I'm going to learn this and I'm going to figure it out, and I'm not going to stop until I do. And having that energy to continue to grow helps with that feeling, like the Eight of Swords, the healing piece. Yeah, you may constantly be healing. We are, as just like your body heals itself constantly, because like cells in your blood are constantly dying and being replaced. It's a constant healing process, where and it's constant growth. But every time those cells are renewed, something, one has to go, right? So there's a replacement to that. And that's what I mean, that it's always healing. That's your blood. That's flowing through you constantly. And it's constantly changing, replacing new with old. So that's, but to have that tenacity with the Eight of Pentacles, I can do this. I can focus. I can master this skill. And whatever that skill is, it's mastering, moving ahead with this, whatever this thing that you're trying to do differently, it's all going to be different for us. Now what I really, really like how this flows, because it goes from the Three of Cups to the Ten of Cups. So the Three of Cups, I do feel like what tends to happen here is I feel like the Three of Cups is going to bring in people to you that will help you. Now, these people could already be in your life. They could be people at work, at home, friends, family. And it leads to this really ultimate relationship. Now, I feel like with this Ten of Cups, particularly, it's a relationship within yourself, being comfortable with who you are and how you're moving forward. This is again it's a growth, but I feel like there's something with that Three of Cups that you will be. I don't think you're going to be looking for help. I think it comes in naturally. That's what I'm getting the feeling with this card. I feel like something's going to come in naturally for you. And I feel like with that 10 of Cups there, that it's that ultimate, I call it comfort. Like when you're in the ultimate relationship, it's comfort. It doesn't mean it's easy. It doesn't mean that you don't have a relationship with differences. It means there's trust. There's comfort in, I can make a mistake. I can, be who I am because it's comfortable. I can do this moving forward. And then we have the 7 of Cups as your choices. So you're going to be opening yourself up to a lot more choices here. I feel like with the 7 of Cups, I'm going to clarify this one. Like opening yourself up to, this journey. I feel like with that, the Strength card, the 8 of Swords, coming out of that. Once you get out of those stuck positions and you get past the, this is hard, you are going to leave yourself with a lot of choices. But I feel like you're going to really count on someone to move you through a little bit here in the next few days. And it could be just people around you. Again, they come out of nowhere. I feel like that's like, it's not planned. It happens. 7 of Cups here. Tell me more about this 7 of Cups and where this leads. The thing that's scary always with the 7 of Cups is they always have the cup with the things in it that are harder or tough or scary. Anytime we're making choices, we can worry about that fear. Am I making the right choice? Am I picking something that's going to be scary or hard or wrong? And we have to open ourselves up to, don't let that stop you. Because if you make a bad choice, and we all do, right? If it's not what you thought, okay, time to turn around and go back. Now, some things are easier to do, right? If you're looking for a job and you take the wrong job, yeah, well, that's not as easy to replace, but it doesn't, that's where you really have to use your internal intuition on, is this the right job for me? And do your research. And there's so much out there now that it's a little bit easier to do research. Back at the past, my pre-digital days, it was really hard to research companies or people or anybody. You couldn't do it. Tell me about the 7 of Cups, please. Oh, I like it. Ace of Cups, Page of Swords, Magician. Yeah, open it. I love the Ace of Cups. Of course, you guys all know I like that. I like all the cards. Ace of Cups, Page of Swords. There is like a feeling here of, when I see this Page of Swords and I look at these 2 cards, I feel like there is this feeling of, you may block yourself a little bit. Like, that's like a fear coming into me when I see this Page of Swords. I don't always see that way, but I do. I see the Page of Swords a lot as a guard. So I feel like there's something that you're going to kind of be on guard of. But I do also, because we've got the Magician, that you are going to be able to really bypass that. If that makes sense, like you have the tools to do all of this, right? It's a Magician. These are choices that you have. You have skills. And once you realize what your skills are, it's easier to make that choice with the 7 of Cups. But I do feel like that there is something new coming in, and it first kind of makes you stand up and go, whoa, almost like, is this too good? And so you're kind of on protection mode and you're protecting yourself. You could be protecting yourself from fear, disappointment, any of those kind of things that we get in our own head. But the Magician like comes through squeaky clean. Like, okay, you've got this. You really can do all of these things that the Magician can do, has all the tools. He can do this. It doesn't mean it's not hard work. It just means that you have the ability, again, going back to that 8 of Pentacles, in your strength. You've got this. You can do this. You have the tenacity to stick to something and really master those skills, or master your own being, so to speak. So let's pull an advice card for today. I just looked at the time stamp on the recording and it was 2444. I've been seeing a lot of 4s lately. Okay. So what is this? What is our piece of advice, please? Oh, that's the King of Cups. So the King of Cups and a lot of decks, the throne is on water, right? And for those of you who watch me often, you know exactly where I'm going with the King of Cups. It is that go with the flow, you know, allow your throne to go back and forth. I think it's asking you not to have anything set in stone, particular. When this feels big to me with the Hangman and the Eight of Swords and the Strength card, it's something that's really important to you. But sometimes if we have too rough of an expectation of where this is going to lead, and I don't mean high expectations are fine. It's not having, so this is what your expectation is. Well, you may not get there immediately, right? That to that final point. So you have to make room for that growth path, that the journey itself. And to do that, it's like, you know, sometimes you kind of have to just allow yourself to go with the flow. It's not saying don't have expectations. It's not saying don't have a guided outcome where you want to be. What it is saying is, you know, don't be hard on yourself. If something happens a little awry, you can come back in line. It's a matter of that this is a floating thing, you know, the King of Cups throne floats and, you know, really speaks to us as. Now, it doesn't mean he's also a king, though. He has, you know, tenacity. He has the growth. He has the smarts. He has um, the history behind him. You know, he's mature. So it doesn't mean you just go with the flow and do it lackadaisically. It means, okay, this is happening. This is where the water's taking me. I'm going to take control of that. So it is, even though I say go with the flow, using it easily, it's also very much having the ability to say, I can deal with where the water takes me, wherever the tide takes me. I can deal with this. I can use it to my benefit because he is again the king, you know, so he can do this. So there you have your reading for today, and know that you can. So going with the flow, leave that as a very, you know, yeah, going with the flow, but knowing that you still do have control of your destiny. It's just asking you to be light and don't be hard on yourself as well as you're going through this, because you know humans are humans and we make, you know, mistakes along the way, but it doesn't mean that we can't switch up and change them. So there you have your reading. I hope you all have a lovely Wednesday. Take care.